never really been a certifiable Camry fan. I mean, it's really hard to get excited about a car like this, but I will say I was really shocked with the way this thing drove. It was just so incredibly comfortable, so smooth, so relaxing. These chairs are crazy comfortable, and this mileage. I am averaging about 46 miles to the gallon with this thing, and I've been putting it in sport mode, going up and down hills, you know, all the kind of stuff that it doesn't like to do, not sitting in traffic, ironically, because that's what this thing is designed to do. But even with that, I can't get it beneath half a tank, and I've really been trying all week long. Actually, the back seat of the Camry currently has more room than the Prius. My kids were actually more comfortable in this car than they were in the Prius, which is nice because the Prius is ugly and this is not, so that's really good. And plus, driving a Camry versus driving a Prius, you know, I'd rather drive a Camry, but that's just me. So usually they put the drive modes next to your shifter here, which is really nice. So it's got the Eco, Normal, and Sport. Normal is very relaxing and cool. The Eco, happily, isn't really boring. Sometimes they can be awful. And then Sport, and we'll do that in a minute. But one thing I want to talk about is this EV mode. So basically that's for when you're stuck in traffic, which is really nice because that's going to save you some mileage. So let's put this in Eco mode. Right, so put it in Eco mode and you don't feel a big difference, which I like. Sometimes when you put a car in Eco mode, it just slows down and becomes unbearable to me, like literally unbearable. Okay, I'm gonna put it now into sport mode because this interests me. Okay, let's put it in sport mode and we put it into manual mode. So, right, not that sexy, not sexy at all, actually. And you know, because this is a hybrid Camry, there is no tachometer, which, you know, you probably really don't need one, but why have sport mode if you don't have a tachometer? There are no, yeah, I should listen to the engine, but this engine makes a lot of weird noises, so it's not exactly easy to follow. There are no paddle shifters in this car. Why you would want paddle shifters in a hybrid Camry, I don't know. Probably just to impress your friends. I'm convinced that 90% of people only use paddle shifters to impress their friends. If you really want to drive in manual mode, you drive like a manual person, not like an F1 driver. One of the things I really noticed about the Camry is how smooth it is. So first of all, the seats are crazy comfortable, like the most comfortable Toyota seats I've ever been in. But also the way that it shifts now with this new EVCT is truly unbelievable. They've also made some changes to the suspension that make it just unbelievably smooth. So if you're looking for something to make you feel comfortable during your commute, go for it, baby. You're not gonna get better mileage than this without going to an EV. Okay, that's my lane departure warning, which I'm going to turn off because that's incredibly annoying. But again, that is part of the driver assistance package, which includes the lane departure warning, the backup camera with cross traffic alert and automatic braking. Okay, so I'm sitting here in my driveway, and pretty soon, because this is a busy road, someone will drive by. And as that person drives by, see what the car does? Gives me an alert so I don't back up and bang into them. Same with the people coming down the other way. I love it. This one has the heated and cooled seats. One criticism I have is I didn't really feel them doing anything, which was kind of irritating. It was like they were just kind of blowing air, which is nice for the cooling, but for the heating, not so much. So if you're somebody that lives in a cold climate, don't get too excited about the heated seats. I mean, they're maybe worth having, but not that great. Also, the sunroof is really small. Infotainment. I hate the infotainment on the new Toyotas. I think they're awful. For a company that does a lot of things really, really well, their infotainment is a disaster. Why they have these tiny little buttons, I will never know. Granted, the majority of us are going to be smart and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is really the way to go. But we still need to do things like get to the home and I don't know, do other things like use the radio. So why make it terrible? I don't really know. That is one thing that Toyota really needs to get together. Kia and Hyundai are doing a great job with that. And in the new generation of Nissans, I really like the infotainment systems as well. Now that they put Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, when they didn't, it was just kind of silly. So my question to you guys is, why would anybody buy a Prius? So if you can get this car with all this comfort and it drives the way it does, why would you want that ugly little slug of a hatchback? I don't know. I would buy the Camry, absolutely.